Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the channel. This is Mr. R, and today we're back in old school RuneScape. Gonna be going ahead and doing some more questing here, and I'd like to update you guys on exactly what I've been doing in the interim between this video and the last one. In the past couple of days, I've taken quite the liking to the Nightmare Zone. It's been pretty helpful. I haven't done... Well, I've done quite a bit of it actually, but it doesn't seem like I've done too much of it because my stats haven't gone up too much, but you know, it's a decent amount of XP between levels, and I'm just working on getting some of my combat skills up AFK while I'm doing stuff with the babies, you know, feeding the babies, all that stuff. If you don't know, I do have newborn twins, so spending a lot of time with the babies doesn't leave a lot of time for XP. If you're interested in seeing like a guide on that or something, feel free to let me know in the comments below. I'd be happy to make a guide on it. It's pretty straightforward and pretty easy. But today, for the video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going through some quests, hopefully getting a little bit closer to that quest cape. So make sure that you guys like, comment, and subscribe to this video so that you can help me out in my goal of becoming a stay-at-home dad. Let's get into it. So the first quest that we're going to tackle today is the Merlin's Crystal quest. We're going to go ahead and go through this, and just so you know, folks, the way that this is going to work is it's not going to be so much of a guide as it is kind of like a walkthrough of basically like the steps that I'm going through to complete the quest. So it's not going to be a direct quest guide, but basically if you like the format of the video, I want you to go ahead and leave a comment down below and let me know if you like it so that I know basically to keep going with this style or change it up or do something else. So let me know down in the comments below. Here we go. Okay, so first things first, teleporting into Camelot, going to head into the castle and chit chat with King Arthur. And chatting with King Arthur, we're going to try to become a Knight of the Round Table. Pretty straightforward here. I'm going to go ahead and start the Merlin's Crystal quest. Now I got to chat with Sir Gawain here real quick. And then upstairs to chat with Lancelot, and he's just in this dining room area here, so go ahead and chat with him. Now, a little bit of combat going on during this quest, easy enough, only a level 39, so we're going to now head down to Catherby to go ahead and start the next step of this quest. Once you get to Catherby, you're actually going to go ahead and hide in this crate here, just about big enough to hide in. So we're going to jump in and wait. And finally, we have made it to the fortress here. So we're going to head in and head upstairs to the 3rd floor of this. And that's where our little combat encounter is going to take place. So we're going to talk to Sir Mordred here. And we'll go ahead and take him out. It should be nice and quick and easy for us. So this lady spawns in, and now we have to tell her that we're going to kill him unless she tells us how that we can save Merlin. So now we need to go ahead and take care of the different steps that she tells us to do in order to essentially save Merlin. And I forgot to mention a minute ago, part of the goal for today's quest is that we want to get to 100 quest points today. Right now we've got 81, so the goal is 100 quest points today, and this one is 6 quest points, so we'll be making progress pretty quick. Now here's where we need our bucket full of wax. So we need to toss off a bucket of wax to this guy, and he will go ahead and give us a black candle. And now we need to head to Taverley. Need to have a quick chat with the Lady of the Lake here. And now she's going to send us all the way to Port Sarim. Once we get to Port Sarim, we need to go to the jewelry store. And in the jewelry store, there'll be a beggar whom we need to give some bread. I wish there was an easier way to have teleports to, like, everywhere. But unfortunately, it's not quite so easy to have all the teleports. But I did read up on something called the Portal Nexus, which I definitely am interested in, but it's got quite some requirements. But in your player-owned house, you can have this Portal Nexus thing that has like 31 different teleports sort of built into it. So definitely want that at some point. And here's the beggar, so we're going to go ahead and give him a piece of bread. Right, so once we give him the piece of bread, that's all the Lady of the Lake needed for us to be able to get the Excalibur from her. That was sort of our test. Now, with Excalibur in hand, got to head over to Varrock and head to the Zamorak Temple. What we need to do is we need to check the altar, and that's going to give us a small inscription for a spell that we need to use. So for the next step, you have to have all the different required items in your inventory, but basically we're going to head back to Camelot and do a couple things, and then that will pretty much be it. Okay, so use our tinderbox to light the candle, bury the bat bones here. Oh no, we've done the wrong thing. We need to drop the bat bones on the altar, so actually, stay tuned. Need to go get more bat bones. Alright, we've got some new bat bones here. Let's try that again. Okay, now we need to right click and drop the bat bones. And a mighty spirit appears. Now we need to say the spell, which is going to be option 3. Now we need to head back into the castle here and head up the ladder in the corner of the castle here. And need to make sure that we have Excalibur equipped for this step. Climb up the ladder to the top, and then smash the giant crystal to free Merlin. And now all we've got to do to finish up this quest is go chat with King Arthur, and that will be it. 6 quest points down. That's it. 6 quest points and Excalibur. I think that you need Excalibur for some future quests, so I don't think that it's going to be particularly useful to us in terms of a weapon, but we'll definitely need it in the future, so obviously hold on to it, stick it in the bank somewhere, do what you got to do. And one of those quests that you need Excalibur for is the next one that we're going to do. So we're going to do Holy Grail next. So all you really need is just some teleports for this and an anti-poison and a little bit of food, because you do have to take out a level 120 Black Knight Titan. So we're going to go ahead and grab what we need to do this. I should have everything that we need in the bank. And then we're going to go ahead and get situated with this quest. I'll walk you through the process. Okie dokie, so this is a decently long one. We're going to go ahead and start by speaking with King Arthur in the Camelot Castle again, and that will get us started with this quest. Now, once you've spoken to King Arthur, it is time to head upstairs and talk to Merlin, whom is recently freed from his crystal prison. Now, for this next step, you're going to first want to bank all of your combat gear. So anything you have that happens to be combat related, stick it in the bank, and then head to... Okay, actually, I don't really know what's going on, because we have this the shortest path plugin, and it's giving us this insane, long-winded sort of route to get there. I'm going to follow it just to see where it takes us, but... first, it wants us to teleport to the Karend Castle and follow this path. And then we're going to take the minecart network over to Port Pisc... Oh, what am I doing? Okay, we're going to take the minecart network to Port Piscarilius and jump on a boat here over to Port Sarum. And now we're going to chit-chat with this Monk of Entrana over here. I don't know why it had us take that incredibly confusing route to get here, but I guess that was the fastest way to get here. And once you get to Entrana, you're going to head in and talk to the High Priest here. Just chit-chat with them quick, and then we're heading back to Camelot again. And now it's off to Galahad's house to chit-chat with him. He's over near the McGruber's Woods down in this general vicinity. Okay, you're going to head in here and chit-chat with Galahad. Now, we need to go ahead and travel to Draenor Manor. I have brought along a teleport tab for this, but there are other ways to get here, of course. Into the upstairs of the manor, you've got the magic whistle here on the table. You're going to go ahead and grab that. And actually, we need 2 of them, evidently. Now, the next step involves a little bit of combat, so we're going to go ahead and pick our combat gear back up here. Now, you can wear whatever combat gear you want, okay, and use whatever weapon you want, but you have to make sure that the final killing blow is done with Excalibur. So make sure you bring Excalibur with you, but the only thing that you have to do is kill it with Excalibur. You don't have to use Excalibur for the whole thing, because it's kind of a weak weapon. So now you need to come over here to this tower. You need to blow the whistle, which is going to send you here. And we've got this Black Knight Titan here. So you need to kill him using Excalibur. Now you can attack him using whatever weapon, but he needs to die with Excalibur. So make sure that you use Excalibur when you deal that killing blow. And we just switched to Excalibur, so again, have to make sure that he dies with Excalibur, but the rest of the fight you can use whatever weapon you want. Alright, and he is down. Now we gotta come over and talk to the fisherman. And now up to the top of the hill here to pick up the bell. And standing in exactly the spot that you picked it up, you then need to ring the bell. And we've been invited inside of the castle now. Gonna head up the stairs here and now talk to the Fisher King. Now all the way back to Camelot we go to go ahead and chit chat with King Arthur once more. So head into the castle and chat with King Arthur. And next we need to head to the Goblin Village up north of Falador. So let's head in that direction. And honestly, when doing a lot of these quests, I would suggest that you have quite a few teleports set up so that you can kind of get where you need to go. There has been a lot of teleporting that I've done during this quest and quite a bit of back and forth. Now into the Goblin Village, we're going to go ahead and right click and open these sacks down here. And from in the sacks come Sir Percival. Now comes a little bit of a travel process. We're going to take a little bit of a convoluted route thanks to the shortest path plugin here, but we're going to head all the way back to that magic castle that we were in just a couple minutes ago with the Fisher King. So we'll catch up with you in just a second when we get there. And you can see the castle is now looking quite different than the last time we were here. We're going to head back upstairs and pick up the Holy Grail. And ta-da, the Holy Grail. Pick that bad boy up. And we're going to head back to Camelot and chat with King Arthur to finish up the quest. And chatting with King Arthur here, we go ahead and get 2 quest points, 11k prayer XP, and 15k defense XP, which neither of those I think are really going to do too much for us, but hey, free XP. Next up, another easy one. We're going to go ahead and do Rag and Bone Man number 1 from 2006. We need a couple things throughout the GE just to grab what we need, and we are going to do a little bit of killing during this, but they're very easy low-level monsters, so don't really need a whole bunch of gear or food or anything for this. Should be pretty straightforward. And to start this one, we're going to talk to the odd old man here up on top of the mountain, just to the east of Varrock. Now he gives you your directions. Easiest way to do this is just going to be to teleport back to Varrock. He's going to have you kill a bunch of random little things, and then you have to do a bunch of stuff with the bones, prepare the bones, do all sorts of weird stuff, and then that's it. First things first, going to take out this giant rat here. Okay, so you take out the rat, and then it's going to drop a specific giant rat bone, which you're going to pick up, and then head on to the next thing, which is going to be a unicorn. Not too far away. Grab the unicorn bone. Take out this bear here. And you're going to want to grab the bear ribs. That's what you want to grab from him. Just to the west here, you're going to take out the ram. Grab his bones. Now take out a goblin. Next we have to head into the Lumbridge Swamp Caves. Kill a couple things down in there. Take out one of these big old frogs. We're off to Karamja. I believe we need to kill a monkey over here. Target acquired. He's a little fast for our lack of run energy right now. I'll head into the dungeon here and take out one of these giant bats. And that gives us all of the different bones that we actually needed. So now we're going to head to Draenor Village, and then we're going to buy a bunch of vinegar from one of these guys. So this guy here, we're chatting with him. Got to trade him, buy these jugs of vinegar from him, and then use them on the pots that we bought for the quest to make a bunch of pots full of vinegar, I guess. And now we need to add all of these different bones to the pots of vinegar. This is a strange quest. Okay, now we need to use some logs on this boiler here. Place a pot of bones on top, and then light it. And repeat the process for all of the different bones that we have on us. If you want this step to finish instantaneously, it says that you can just hop worlds and it will instant complete. But I feel like, at least for me, the amount of time that it takes to hop to a new world will just be the same amount of time as it would take for it to just be done anyway. So I might as well just sit here and wait for it. It takes like probably less than 10 seconds, so that's not really like a long amount of time. And once you've finished cleaning up all those bones, you can go ahead and hand them to the old man and complete that quest. I gotta be honest, I have no idea what the point of this quest is, but we're done. We only get 1 quest point for it. That puts us at 90 total quest points for this episode. Well, total, I guess. So we're going to go ahead on to the next quest on our list now, which is going to be the Nature Spirit quest. Alright, so we've got everything we need to go ahead and start the Nature Spirit quest. Let's head to the start point and get underway with this one. So I actually just saw some interesting news, not just about 2 or 3 minutes ago, actually, that the Quest Helper plugin for RuneLight, which is the one that shows all of these different steps here, is actually at risk of being removed because it is potentially rule breaking a little bit. It's not rule breaking necessarily, but it is taking away a lot of the difficulty of doing quests, and Jagex is not a huge fan of that. So if you are planning to use this this plugin at all, I would suggest that you do it sooner rather than later, because you may not be able to do it for too much longer. And I'm starting to think that it may not be a bad idea, since we're doing so much questing right now. Honestly, it might not be a bad idea to go ahead and invest in some restore potions or some stamina potions or whatever they are that are going to help us have more run energy. So I'm definitely going to look into that. I don't know how expensive they are or anything, but those would definitely be helpful for us in making sure that we can complete these quests faster, because especially like when we've got armor on and stuff, you know, getting from place to place is quite the process. But we're in the Mauritania swamp here, the Mort Meyer swamp, and we're going to head over to the grotto in the south of the swamp here so that we can go ahead and complete the next step of this quest. So we're going to jump across this bridge here, and we actually failed that agility shortcut, but we're going to go ahead and enter the grotto, and we've got a apparition which is appearing in front of us. Let's talk to this guy. Okay, we finished chit-chatting with him. We need to grab the washing bowl here and the mirror and talk again to Philoman Tarlock. And now we need to use the mirror on him to show him that he is, in fact, a ghost. Now we're going to search the grotto tree here, and we have discovered a small book. The words on the front are a little bit vague, but it appears as though it is his journal. I'm going to go ahead and give his journal right back to him. And now we'll head off to the next step of the quest here. We got to go back to the underneath of the temple there and talk to the guy that we talked to start the quest. And just for reference, for all of the steps of this quest so far that have involved talking to Philoman and whatever, you need to make sure that you have the Amulet of Ghost Speak equipped to your person so that you can actually communicate with them. Okay, chatting with Drezel here, and he has now blessed us, and we now need to head out of here, and I believe we need to cast this druidic spell next to a log here, and that's going to grow a mushroom, which you then need to pick, and then we need to head back to the grotto. Now I need to use the fungus on the stone here, just outside, and use the used spell sheet here on the other stone, attempt to enter the grotto again, and then speak to Philemon Tarlock again. And my microphone may or may not have been out for a minute there, so we may not have actually recorded any audio in the past little bit, but we just, in case that audio didn't work, we just completed the Nature Spirit quest, and our next quest is going to be the Ghosts Ahoy quest. So we're at the Grand Exchange here to go ahead and sort out what we need for this quest, and we will head off to start that one in just a moment here. Okay, we've got pretty much everything that we need here. There are a couple of things on the list that I can't actually get, but I think that hopefully some of the things that we need are just things that we're going to end up picking up on the quest, hopefully. So let's see what we can do. After quite the hike, we're here at Port Phasmatis, and we are through the gates here. Gonna go ahead and talk to Velarina to go ahead and start the quest. Alright, on now to talk to Necrovarus, and unfortunately you have to pay 2 ecto tokens every time you go in, and I only have 1 left, so I'm probably gonna have to go get some at some point. But for now, it's off we go. We're headed actually over toward the Slayer Tower for the next step here. So we need to make a little diversion anyway. So I'm going to pick up the supplies that I need to go ahead and make some more ecto tokens, but we need this nettle tea. And what it seems like is in order to make the tea, I have to put on a pair of gloves and pick nettles while wearing the gloves, and then use them on a bowl of water. So that's what we're going to do, I guess. Okay, so it looks like the place that we're going to need to pick these nettles is here. I'm going to go ahead and put on these leather gloves, and then should be able to pick some nettles here. And I'm going to take a couple because apparently you can fail when making the tea, so just in case I'm going to take a couple so that I have some backups. Okay, and you use the nettle water, so you put the leaves in a bucket of water, then use the water on a fire, and it makes the nettle tea. Okay, and now we need to chit-chat with this old crone here, and we gotta stick the nettle tea into this cup here. Oop. And then use a bucket of milk on the cup, which gives us just a cup of tea, and then give that to this lady, I suppose. Okay, so the next thing I want us to do is use the silk on the model ship that she's given us here. And now we need to head to search the chest in the hull of the ship west of Port Phasmatis. So we've got to hike over there, and we'll catch up with you in a moment. Okay, and into this ship we go here. We need to, I guess, search this closed chest over here. And a giant lobster has popped out, so let's go ahead and take down this lobster. Lobster is done. And let's search the chest again. And head up the ladder of the ship. And up the next ladder. And let's search the mast. It says we need to search the mast until we find all the colors of the boat. Now, unfortunately, there are not enough dyes in my inventory to complete this. So it's going to tell you different things that you have to do to the ship. So we needed to do some purple and some yellow and some red. So we used our blue and our red to make the purple, and now we need to go get another red. So back to the GE, I guess. And with a red dye now in our inventory, we can go ahead and dye the skull emblem on the ship red, which has now given us exactly what we need. But now we need to go all the way back again to the ship. And in the background here, you guys can't hear it obviously, but I am currently watching Severance on Apple TV Plus. If you guys are watching Severance as well, Let me know what you think of it down in the comments. I'm about to watch episode 5 here, and this show has been crazy so far. So let me know what you guys think. Very curious. So back to the ship. Now we need to head up to the main deck of the ship here. We need to chat with this old man here, and he's given us a key. So now we need to head into this room and open up this closed chest using the key. And from that we find a piece of a map. Now we got to come across this gangplank here, and looks like we got to do some agility here. So hopefully hopefully we don't fail this at all. So far so good. Oh, it says I don't have enough energy to make the jump. Interesting. Okay, almost there. Okay, and we've made it to the end here. We've got a chest to open up, and inside of it we find another piece of a map. Now we got to use all these map pieces together, and we now have a completed map. So time to head back to Port Phasmatis. I do not have any ecto tokens, so I need to get more of those somehow. Okay, kind of a process to go ahead and get some ecto tokens there, but we have gotten all of the tokens that we need, and now we're going to travel on the boat over on the docks here. So this ghost captain over here, we're going to go ahead and click travel, and he is going to take us somewhere. So since we do not have the right amount of ecto tokens there, we're going to charter a ship here instead. Okay, it took me a stupid amount of time, but I couldn't figure out. In the guide it says there's a way that you can get there without having to pay the 25 ecto tokens on this rowboat, but I couldn't figure it out. So I just went and got more ecto tokens so that I can just take this stupid rowboat. Now we arrive on this island, and we have to come over to this spot here and dig. And upon that, we find a book. So now we have this book, and we have to head back and speak with this samurai-looking guy here. Now we need to come talk to this Robin guy here. And it seems like we need to play a game. So I guess we basically just have to play this game over and over again until we win. Okay, look at that. I finally won one. Okay, it took like actually a lot of attempts of playing with him to get him to actually sign the bow, but eventually he agreed. Now we can talk to Akaranu again to give him the signed bow that we just got. Now to chat with the ghost innkeeper in here. So we now need to use a bucket of slime on the bed sheets, which is an interesting ask. First things first, we need to go get another bucket of slime. So I guess we got to go back down to the basement of the Ectofunctus and go and get another bucket of slime so that we can go ahead and do that. Okay, so we've made this slimy bedsheet, and now we actually have to wear it, I guess, so that we look like a ghost. So we're going to talk to this guy here. And now we need to walk around and collect signatures for some sort of a petition. Okay, finally, we have achieved all 10 signatures that we need. It did cost us some ecto tokens, so we are currently out of ecto tokens, which means that we're going to probably have to get some more in order to finish the quest. Hopefully not. So I just spoke to Necrovarus here, and now we need to head to the upstairs of the Ectofunctus and open this door here. I've got a key, so we're going to go ahead and open the door and unlock the door, and then open up this coffin and search it. Now, it looks like there's a little bit of a runaround that needs to happen here, so I got to go all the way from here back to the old crone by the Slayer Tower, and then come back here to talk to Necrovarus again. And then from there, I need to go back into the Port Phasmatis so that I can talk to Valerina and finish the quest, which means that I'm going to have to get 2 more ecto tokens, so I'm going to have to do another little run of bones on the ecto tokens there. Okay, so back at the old crone, gonna chit chat with her real quick here. And now gotta head all the way back to the Ectofungus. And I feel like every time I say that word, I feel like I say it wrong. Okay, so back at the Ectofungus. And we need to chat with Necroverus now. And it looks like we have basically finished this. Let's try to get through this energy barrier without having to pay anything. Yes, now I can pass without charge. Great, so I don't have to go and get more Ecto tokens. And now we can talk to Valerina and finish the quest. Oh my Lanta, that is it. Finally, we have finished this. We get an Ecto file. We get a bunch of prayer XP, 2 quest points, up to 94 total quest points. Oh my lord, that took way longer than it should have. Okay, on to our next quest here. We are actually going to go a little tiny bit out of order on the quest guide. Technically, the optimal quest list says the next quest we should do is Making History, but we're going to actually go ahead and do Romeo and Juliet right now, because when we just teleported into Varrock, Romeo or somebody just came over and talked to us and asked us if we wanted to start it. So we're going to go ahead and do this quest now, and then we'll get back to the optimal quest guide afterwards. Only thing we really need to have on us to start this quest is just a Kadava berry, so that's all we have and all we need, and let's go ahead and head towards the next step of this quest here. And from what I remember, this quest is pretty short and pretty easy, so I have no idea why this quest gives 5 quest points, but hey, I'm not complaining. So Juliet goes ahead and gives us a message, and now we need to bring the letter back to Romeo here in the center of Varrock. Okay, next step is to go and talk to Father Lawrence in Northeast Varrock, so let's head over there. Okay, and let's chat with him. Looks like a little cutscene going on. It's just showing his sermon, which seems to be going not very well. Okay, so that's all done. Now we need to take these Kadava berries and bring them to the apothecary, which is in Southeast Varrock. Now, the shortest path plugin, I love it so far. It's great 99% of the time, but like, do I really need to teleport to Varrock when I'm in Varrock? Not really. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and chat with the apothecary here, and we're going to chit-chat about Romeo and Juliet, and we need to give him the Kadava berries, and he's going to make us up some sort of a potion. And next up, back over to Juliet to give her the berries, or to give her the potion, rather, and just handing off this potion to Juliet here. I guess she's got a friend here now, Philippa. And Juliet's drinking the potion. Juliet has died. And of course, you know, nobody's ever heard the story of Romeo and Juliet before, so nobody knows, nobody knows how that one ends. But that being said, we go ahead and chit-chat with Romeo here. And we're going to go ahead and finish up the quest. He's taking us to the crypt, I guess, to go find her. I don't know why she just has, like, no face at all. Alright, well, that quest, too easy for 5 quest points. Who knows why we get 5 whole quest points for that? Maybe because there's no other rewards and they just want to stack you up on quest points, but only need 1 more quest point to hit our goal of 100 quest points in this video. So let's figure out what our next quest is going to be. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but I've gone through a couple of iterations of different graphical settings during this video. So first we had like the modern layout on, and then I switched to this one here, the like the classic layout, just because I like the way that this like inventory area looks a little better, you know, has the sort of classic vibes. But I've also experimented and messed around a little bit with the size of the actual window that you can see. So if you like this way better than the way that it was before, let me know. Before I didn't have it stretched out at all, so there was a little bit of a black bar on either side, but now I have it stretched out so it just fills the whole screen. I don't know what looks better for you guys. I think it looks fine either way, but just let me know, you know, what your liking better personally. And honestly, just for the sake of finishing up the video, I've gone ahead and found a quest that is on the shorter side, because I know this video is getting a little bit long, and also one that will finish up our goal of 100 quest points. So this is Pirate's Treasure, and it will give us 2 quest points, so we'll be over our goal, and it is a nice short one. So this is another one that is obviously outside of the quest order, but again, we'll get back to the quest order in the next video. It'll be nice and easy. We've got everything we need to go ahead and take care of this quest nice and quickly, so we're going to go ahead and head towards the start point here, and we'll catch up with you in just a moment. So first things first, we're going to chit-chat with Redbeard Frank here to go ahead and start the quest. Alright, we're going to go ahead and talk to Seaman Loris here, and he will send us to Karamja. So next, we need to go ahead and chat with the guy in the bar here. His name is Zembo, and looks like we need to buy a Karamjan rum from him. So we'll go ahead and buy one of those, and then talk over here to Luthus, and we're gonna see if we can work for this guy here. Okay, so first things first, we need to go ahead and put the rum inside of the crate here. We're going to smuggle this rum back to Port Sarim, I believe. And then we need to fill the rest of the crate with bananas. Okay. Then we'll talk to Luthus again. Alright, and off we go back to Port Sarim. Now we got to go ahead and grab this white apron off the wall here in the fisherman's shop. And we're going to throw on the apron as I suppose our little disguise here. And we need to head into the storage room of the Port Sarim food shop, and this person here claims to give us a job, I suppose. And then we're going to come here and search the crate here, which has our rum in it, and I guess we'll take a banana out too, why not? And I'm going to throw my armor back on because it feels weird running around in an apron. And we're going to go ahead and deliver this smuggled rum to Redbeard Frank back over here. Great, so he has now given us a key and a bunch of other things that we need to do. So first, we're going to head to Varrock. We got to head to the Blue Moon Inn in Varrock. Head up the staircase in here. And when we get up there, there's a chest that we need to go ahead and open up with the key. So I'm going to open up this door, use the chest key on the chest, and that will give us a pirate message. Visit the White Knight City in the park. Saradomin points to the X, which marks the spot. Okay, we got a potion, random event. He gave us a half-drank strength potion. Not anything super exciting. Now we're going to go ahead and teleport to Falador, White Knight City. And we need a spade before we head over there. I didn't grab that out of the bank, but luckily there's one right here. So we're going to go ahead and grab a spade. What we in the United States would just call a shovel. Now we got to head over here and dig on this spot here. Saradomin points to the treasure. So we're going to go ahead and dig with our spade here. And of course we're going to be attacked by the gardener. He's level 4, so he is quite easy to take out. And once he's gone, we can dig again. And we receive One-Eyed Hector's treasure, as well as 2 quest points, which puts us at 101. Let's see what we get in the casket here. We get a gold ring. I don't know how much gold that was, but we got some GP, we got a gold ring, and we got an emerald. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Might as well bury those bones for a lovely 5 prayer experience. And that is pretty much going to be it for this episode, folks. So this episode, we've gained a lovely 21 quest points. We are making good progress on our journey to getting the quest cape. Of course, we still have about 220 quest points to go and a ridiculous amount of quests left to complete. But we're making good progress. Next episode, we'll start it off with making history. That's our next quest. Otherwise, folks, thank you for watching. Make sure that you like and comment, and definitely subscribe to help me out on my journey of becoming a stay-at-home dad with my twins. Stay tuned for more videos in the very near future and follow along on the journey. Otherwise, again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.